everyone. We hope you're doing well on this early September morning. I noted a little bit of coolness in the air comparatively. So welcome to our September monthly coaching session. Today we're going to go over setting up a new account in Foundant. And Amber's going to do that for us. We have with us Ashley Brown, our Deputy Director, and we have Laurel Posey in Communication, and of course Amber, who's in our Grants office, or Grants team member, and myself, Kathy Lee, in the Grants team. So just a few housekeeping things. We're going to keep you muted this morning. If you have questions throughout the presentation, you're welcome to use the chat feature and enter those in, and we'll try to either address them as we go along or at the end of the presentation. Once Amber's finished, we will unmute everyone and open you up to ask questions that you have. Like I said, today is setting up a new account, but we will be open to taking other questions if necessary on other items that you might have at this time, since we know that contracts have just gone out and there might be some questions concerning those. So please hold those types of questions until the end, but if you have questions on the presentation part, just type those in the chat room. We'll try to address them as we go along. I'll be monitoring that while Amber presents to us. Ashley, did you have anything that you would like to say before we get started?
Just welcome to everyone. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks. Okay, Amber, if you'd like to get started.
All right, let me go ahead and start with the screen share over here. All right, so we're going to start on our website here, as you know, southcarolinaarts.com. We're going to get you to the login page. So there's a couple of ways you can do this. So you can come up over here to grants and hover your cursor over top, and then we'll have a blue box that comes down. You'll click online grants management, and it'll bring you to this screen right here to get into the login. There's also another way to get there. Sometimes you don't hover and you just click on grants. That's okay. We'll go over here to Online Grants Management System, found in FAQ, and it will also take you here. All right, so we're going to click on to the login page. Currently, we are experiencing some issues right now, so some people are not able to get into Foundant, but that's okay. We are going to use the Create New Account feature. So we'll go over here to Create New Account. I'll go ahead and hide this message for now. So here we are in the applicant information. So this is going to be for the organization, or if you are an individual artist, this will be for information in here. You'll notice the EIN for individual artists. You do not need a number for this, and you also will not need to provide a DUNS number. We do not need your social security number for this. All right, so we'll do organization. You'll see in the required fields there is an asterisk. So we will need some type of phone number here. And I'd love to just type in, we do not need an organization email necessarily. All right. Type in all of that. Go with our address here. All right. Going through this, now we'll come to this section where you'll have applicant status, institution, and primary discipline. These you want to answer to what is most applicable for your organization or for yourself as an individual artist. So we go to applicant status, obviously you see here individual, organization, you got government, and then none of the above. So we'll go ahead, most commonly organization, nonprofit. Institution, again, you'll see here for individual artist, individual non-artist, and then the list goes on from here. So again, what is most applicable for your organization? All right, we'll go ahead and just say art museum. And then for discipline here, and go through our main disciplines. Obviously, non-arts, non-humanities is also an option. We'll go ahead, we'll just do visual arts for today. Then you'll go here for your House and Senate legislative district. So this link will take you, if you do not know off the top of your head or have that in your paperwork, you go ahead here, type in your address, go ahead and do hours. We go and click Find Legislators. Takes just a moment, but then the information will populate here. We will want your, you see Senate District 20, House District 72. So go back over here. And you'll see one that states House, one states Senate. Please make sure to double check these when you are putting in this information. So we've got 2072. Make sure I did that right. See, I'm going to go over ahead and double check. Yep. All right. Then you're going to go ahead and hit next here. We do have a link here. If you do need more information regarding your DUNS number, we do have that available for you. Let me see if I can find that link. There we go. On our website. Allow. Okay. Pop up. We have in our DUNS number here. You can always use our search function and type in DUNS here. It'll also pull it up for you if you have any questions on that and how to get one. Okay. So go back over.
Amber, can I just insert in here, while those are not required fields for an organization in this form, they are actually required for a grant for the Arts Commission. So you could actually submit this part of your account login or your account creation in our online grants management system without those two pieces of information, but we will require them if you are able to, if you're approved for a grant, you will have to provide those two pieces of information. So just keep that in mind.
And what is really nice now is that once you do create your profile, you will be able to go back in and edit your DUNS number. However, if you do not enter in your EIN number now, you won't be able to edit that later, but you can always send that to us at grants@arts.sc.gov, and we'll be happy to put that in for you. Okay. So we've got all of our required fields. Next, you'll come to user information. So this is going to be the grant contact and grant manager. So they will be responsible for all the communications that you do receive pertaining to the grant and all follow-ups. So let's see here. Some special things to note. So the username that you do choose here is an email address, and duplicate emails are not permitted. So you just want to contact us at grants@arts.sc.gov, and we'll, if you need to create a profile for multiple organizations, we'll sort that out for you. Let's see here. Love using this feature, copy address for organization. That way it's already there because you are on behalf of the organization. I'll just say for now. Okay, you can go ahead. You can type in a title if you're the executive director. You can also do grant manager so that it's clearly stated. All right, for here, let's just do And then of course you'll want to go over here and confirm your email. Okay, obviously we'll put in a different number for you. I'm just using a sample here, and it has to be in that specific format. All right, now if this does ever change, your main user or grant manager, please send us an email. We will be able to add another user to your account. You do not have that, that ability. And then we can always reassign specific grants to that new person. This way we don't have anyone overwriting information that's already in there that could cause a loss in information, and then a loss in certain communications, such as emails that are sent, again, relating to the grants and other alerts. All right, after all that is populated in here, click next.
So Amber, before we go on, we do have a question from one of our attendees. They were asking about the DUNS number for artists. And so I just want to clarify that what you said earlier, that for individuals that are setting up an account, we do not want their social security number or their DUNS number. And that's why those two fields are not required. But we do want it for organizations. So hopefully that cleared that up. Thanks.
Thank you, Kathy. All right, and then also it's a great spot to also note you do not want to use your browser back button here. It will delete all the information you have placed within the previous fields. You want to click the previous button. It will take you back to make any necessary edits that you need. Okay. All right. So go on here. If you're the organization's authorized official, that is the same as you. Just go ahead and click yes. It'll move you on to this particular field where you just, obviously none of this is required. This is just additional information on you as the authorized official. Now, if that answer is no, we'll populate all the new information for your authorized official. So you want to make sure that you enter in everything here.
And let me just enter in here, Amber, that if you are an artist, you just want to click yes and move on that authorized official if you're an individual.
And the authorized official for your organization is responsible for signing that contract. Let's see here. Okay, so we'll just go back. I'm just going to click yes for today's purposes. All right, nothing to add in here. All right, and then you'll come to your password. We have specifics here. It must be at least 6 characters long and contain these characters here. So you can enter that in however you need to. And I will not create this one for this purposes, but you'll confirm and then click create account. And that will bring you to your applicant dashboard. You will receive an email with your login information. You want to make sure that you save that for future use. Let's see if I can pull this up over here. Sorry, because we are having some founded issues today. All right, let's bring it over here. There we go. All right, I've switched over. Do you guys see this? It says, congratulations, you have created your new profile. Perfect. You'll receive your confirmation email, and now you can start applying for a grant when you're ready on your applicant dashboard, and just click apply up at the top of your screen. Everything will be populated here. You'll also notice that you'll have these edits. You can edit your contact information at any time for your organization here. And then for yourself as the applicant here. All right. And that concludes creating a new account. Kathy, do you have anything to add?
Do you want to show them where they can find this document on our website? So couple things. If you need to refer back to this, the video will be available probably sometime after September 15th. Just needing time to download it and and get it ready on YouTube and all of that, but it will be available, and there will be a link from the frequently asked questions page, which is the page that Amber is bringing up, and it's also the page that has the link for the grants management system. And then this document is located under how do I create an account.
And it would be this one right here, Kathy.
Yeah, then the one that's currently up there will be updating. It's an older version, but it still should help. But we'll be getting that updated in the next few days, depending on our communications team's schedule and ability to get that up there for us. We'll be getting that updated. Okay, are there other questions? So Kimberly, your old accounts are fine. You don't need a new account. This is the same system that we've been using. We just are doing this tutorial for anybody that is new to our system at this time. So, and also hoping to get some more. The plan is to make this available to everyone through our web and our YouTube channel, so that new applicants have the opportunity to look at this. So we will go ahead and unmute you, and you can ask questions if you've got questions for us. And again, we know that contracts are out and that you might have questions about those or other things that pertain to the FY21 grants that you're receiving. So we will take those questions at this time for as long as we have time to allow for that.
Kathy, can I ask a question for the group at large, just to a clarification?
Sure.
Amber, you mentioned that you can update your contact information in your own account. Am I correct, though, that if you're updating it to change people, that's when they need to contact you instead?
That's correct.
So you can contact anything related to yourself.
Absolutely.
Or your organization address, name change, that kind of thing.
But if you're changing people at all, contact the grants office.
Right. Do not overwrite. Like if there's been a change in staffing in your organization, we do not want you to overwrite an existing account with the new information. If you do that, you then become, whoever that person you put in there, then becomes the person historically, in the historical data, that has been responsible for that data. And we don't want, for those grants, and we don't want to do that. So if there is change in your organization, then you need to contact the grants team at that email, grants@arts.sc.gov, and let us know, and we will set you or whoever that person is that you are telling us to get set up, and give them the access to the grant programs that you would now be responsible for being the contact and getting that work done.
Hi, everyone. Tamara from Morris Center here. The last time we had a grants Zoom call with one another, you guys mentioned that with reporting, if an organization is on a calendar year, we don't have to try to split up our financials into two parts to meet you guys' fiscal year. So with that, I'm on a calendar year. So when I'm requesting payment for my grant, my project dates here are still on you guys' fiscal year. How do I still request my funds based on the project dates, or do I do it from my calendar year budget? I don't understand what I should do.
Yeah, that's a little confusing. For reporting purposes, we do allow for you to report the calendar year, but for reimbursement of funds, you're actually doing it per the dates of the project that's on your contract, and it's within our fiscal year, because that's when we have that's when we can spend those funds.
Totally understand. Just wanted to clarify.
Okay, great. I'm glad that made sense. Okay, so we have someone that is asking about the W-9s. So we are no longer requiring W-9s if you if we have your W-9 on file. So that means if you're a returning grantee, you've done a W-9 and we've got that. We need a W-9 if you are a first-time grantee to us, or if you've had a name change or address change for your organization, then we need to get a W-9 in so that we can make sure that your vendor file with the state is updated, so your check is going to the right place. Which brings me to another point. We highly recommend that you get set up with the treasurer's office. Amber, is that correct? The treasurer's
Yes.
office?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for direct deposit, so that we don't have to worry about address changes, and you don't have to worry about a check getting lost in the mail. It'll go directly into your account. So you do that through the treasurer's office, and that information is also on our website on how to do that.
Would you like me to screen share that, Kathy?
You can.
Okay. Go ahead over here. Let's see. Pull this up over here. All right, and I think now this does live in our frequently asked questions, I believe, regarding payment. And there we go. Okay. All right. All right.
Oh, they're not there yet.
Not there
Laurel's
yet. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Laura. I was like, I'm in the right place. But they will be.
Yeah, and if you're interested in that, just send an email to our grants team email, and we'll send you that link. Like I said, it is through the treasurer's office. It's not anything that the Arts Commission has control over. Amber, I don't know if you know this or not, but we did have a question about whether or not they get a confirmation that that's been set up properly. Do you happen to know?
I believe they will get a confirmation from the treasurer's office with the new information, because I believe you do receive. I'm not sure if they receive vendor information, but you do get a confirmation.
Okay. And do you know, I'm not sure about the payment process. You might know that because we've had some people in the past that have done direct deposit, that have used direct deposit for the grant payments. Did they receive anything from us?
It does go straight into, just like any electronic or wired payment, goes straight into their account. And there should be specifics as to where that is coming from. I'm not sure what that looks like, but that amount will show up in your account. If you do have any questions regarding your electronic payment, you can contact our Director of Finance, Angela Abubaker, and she can always double check those for you.
So, and then the other thing you can always do too to check if you've submitted a payment request or if you've completed a final report that triggers your payment, you can log back in to your Foundin account, which I don't know that we can show you because Foundin is not cooperating today.
I tried.
But you can go in, and if you go into your actual grant, you can look on the request tab, I believe it is, and it will show you the payment information, and it will provide you with a date that payment has been made, and it'll have an amount to that. So that would is one place you can go and check that. And you can, like Amber said, you can contact our accounting department, or you can contact the grants team, and we'll, you know, check on that for you as well.
This is true. It's working. Looks like Foundant is back and it's up and running.
Okay. You want to use the demo account and see if we can show that on?
I'm gonna try. I don't believe we have any payments.
I think try the FY17.
Okay.
It'll at least show them the screen.
Okay.
It may not have numbers in it, but it can at least show them the screen. I know there's installment payments on that because I looked at it yesterday.
Okay.
Kathy,
Yes, Mike.
we received our contract package. Is there a date that has to be submitted by?
We typically, on operating support grants, we typically like to get at least one payment to you by December 1st. But it's up to you. You can wait till December 1st. We have actually had some grantees that wait and only do one at the end of the year. It depends on your cash flow. If you need cash now and you have some matching funds that you've expended, then go ahead and submit it. If you want to wait, you can wait. It's really totally up to you. There is a question in the chat bar about the interim payments and full reimbursement. So something we put back into place this year for operating support grantees and ABC advancement grantees. Well, ABC advancement grantees were this way before, but for operating support, we've put back into your contract the 80%, so you can receive up to 80% in your first 2 interim payments, whichever, even if you've met the match for the full grant award, we're only going to release 80% of your funds this year to start with. And then at the end of the fiscal year, based on our budget and whether or not we've had cuts, you'll receive the 20%. If we don't receive any cuts and we just receive the flat funding that we have right now, then you'll get the 20% at the end of the fiscal year. And that's in May or June. If you've met your match in a previous payment request that you've sent to us, you don't have to do anything. We will automatically do that payment to you. If you have not met the match for the full award prior to in one of the previous interim payments, then you will need to send the final payment request in to receive that 20%.
And we will assign that to you if it's applicable, and you'll get email notification.
Yes.
To fill that out.
Thank you, Amber. Okay. Other questions?
Kathy, just really quickly, I just want to kind of big picture speak to that, the potential for cuts. Everyone that receives operating support got an email about this, but just a reminder that we are currently operating with a continuing resolution for the state of South Carolina. So we don't have a technical budget for this year. And what the board approved at our June board meeting is that for operating support grants, that's general operating support statewide and operating support for small organizations, that cut would be proportional up to 15%. So if our agency receives a 5% cut from the state, operating support grants will receive a 5% cut. We receive a 10%, your grant will receive a 10%. Up to 15% is what the board approved. If for some wild reason we get a cut bigger than that, then we'll have to take it back to the board for approval. So that 20% that we hold to the end of the year would be the absolute most that you would get a cut anyway. So we are hoping that this year we're able to get through the entire year just operating with flat funding. That's our hope. That's our goal. but we just don't know what the coming 9 months look like, and that's coming from the state. So
Okay.
And
So-
Kathy,
Yeah.
there was another question. I just know if this was a good time to also address for our FY21 season regarding rolling grants, because we did have a question regarding the application cycle.
Yeah. Did you want to show where they can go back to share your screen and show them the grants? And I'll talk about that. So we do have grants for FY21, the arts projects support, arts teachers grants, and accessibility grants that would normally have been open at this time, but because, as Ashley spoke, we are on a continuing resolution, we have suspended those until hopefully we get a budget this month and we can open that up October 1st. So right now those categories are suspended, but you can go ahead and look at the guidelines. We're not changing those guidelines and what's required drastically. It's just that they will not be available to you until hopefully October 1st. If you have a project that has dates prior to October 1st, we will consider looking at that project and making that grant, if you're awarded a retroactive grant. Correct, Ashley? Am I correct in that?
that is correct.
Okay.
And again, that's for us trying to be really fiscally responsible with our budget. We would much rather do that than try to go ahead and grant things in the first quarter and then have to completely readjust. So our hope is that we continue the year with flat funding, and that starting October 1st, we'll be able to reopen those rolling grants.
Now, Ashley, can you, on the teacher standards implementation grants, those are now arts teachers grants, and those are changing, is that correct?
Slightly, it's more or less the same thing. There are going to be a couple of things that change, and we had originally talked about increasing the amount, but I think just because of where we are with the budget this year, I don't think we're going to be able to do that.
Okay. So that's where you can find the grants. So those ones are our FY21 grants that are open to you at this time. And then if you look at some of the grants that run for that you're awarded that run for the full year, which were in FY21, you applied for in FY20, we will be receiving FY22 grants, and that's like Amber's showing you, the operating support grants, the ABC advancement grants. Those grants for the FY22 year will be open later this year. So this is where you can go to the grants page, and Amber, if you scroll up, over on the left, is that, yeah, you can click on grants for artists. If you're an artist, you can click on that, and that'll filter down just the grants that are available to artists. There's grants for schools and grants for organizations. So you can actually filter it and just look at the ones that are applicable to you. Yes, and Laurel put in the chat bar that we have not updated the language in the rolling grants yet. But again, those are the guidelines for FY20. You can still kind of use them as a basis for your FY21 grants, because there won't be a lot of changes to the requirements in the grant itself. It's just the dates will change. So just keep that in mind, that you can use it for your basis to start thinking about projects and what you might need to pull together, such as budgets and stuff like that for applying for that grant. Okay. Other questions? Well, if there are no other questions at this time, we really appreciate you joining us again. For some of you again, for some of you the first time. We hope to see you back again next month in October, and we will be talking about, what are we talking about in October, Amber?
Let's pull that up.
October, we're actually going to start we'll talk about the application. Some of what we showed you today, finding that application and getting started on that application, and budget forms and narrative and that kind of stuff, and your next steps. So that's what we'll be talking about on the first Thursday at 11 a.m. in October. And we hope to see you then. Until then, we're available to you via email and phone if you need to call us, and we are happy to do one-on-one sessions with you as well if we need to. And I do want to mention Catherine, Catherine Intube is, if you haven't already met her, she is our coordinator, program director for organizations. So if you need to, you can reach out to her and she can assist you in guiding you in programs that we have and what might be available to organizations. And she is also director over education. So you want to say anything to the group, Catherine, before we say goodbye?
Hi, everyone. I'm dropping a link in the chat that you should have received via email earlier this week. In the month of September, we'll have a couple of arts organization think tanks. So these are opportunities for arts organization leaders to come together and chat amongst one another and share what's been working well, what you're still trying to figure out in the context of this year. Each meeting has a different theme, and it's a little bit different from grants coaching sessions, so I won't be presenting information to you. I'll have a couple of guiding questions for folks to think about, but it will truly be a think tank space for everyone in the room to kind of share resources, concerns, ideas with each other. And if we hear back that it was useful to folks, we'll have more of them. This is just the first 3 to kind of pilot the think tank idea for organizations. So I dropped the link in the chat, and if you didn't receive the email, I heard from one person this morning that it went to spam, so you might also check your spam folder. Just to make sure that you can mark it as not spam and get the announcements in the future.
So Catherine, is that only available through the email or the link to that, or is it going to be up on the hub or the website or somewhere else?
It's not on the website currently. It went out to OSS and GOS applicants.
Okay.
Support applicants.
Is that all we're looking for is current grantees?
For these,
okay.
For this pilot, I think. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Okay. Well, with that, there are no more questions. We thank you for joining us today and giving us your time. We hope that you found this useful, and thank you for all the great questions. And we look forward to hopefully seeing you in October, and have a great September. Bye.